Welcome. It's Friday Art Talks with Elaine M. Bergstrom, and I welcome you to our topic today. Learn how the Zen principles can be applied to your own artwork. So, what does Zen offer us in painting and drawing? Well, for me, it's been a lot because I'm very drawn, as you may know, to the Chinese and Japanese cultures. And I'd like us to explore for a second a little bit of the obvious exaggerated differences of Eastern and Western cultures. So let's just talk about paintings first. So, in Western paintings, we come from traditional practices of, um, adding a lot of symbolism to our paintings. It goes way, way back. And so paintings became very full of objects and things in the paintings. And of course, we expanded to plein air, so our paintings got larger. We included more vistas and more views. But often when I explore a lot of these paintings, and I'm not saying every painting, I'm generalizing, but there is a lot of paintings that we see that have a lot of things to look at. And so in classes, I always talk about, do we need everything that we see, let's say in a landscape, in a plein air painting, or if it is in a photograph? Do you still need that garbage can that's in front of the storefront that you're painting? Is it necessary to keep it there? Now, when I compare Eastern paintings, and I'm talking about traditional Chinese, Japanese, and even Korean paintings, um, there seems to be a simplicity about them. There's not that there isn't symbolism, but they have maybe less objects in them. Our mind has a place to go and explore. And what I find is I can spend more time in those views. Sorry, I'm not sure I've been recording this. Um, so, what's important is to understand the busyness of Western paintings versus Eastern paintings seem to be have more air, more room to breathe in and explore. So, take another example. Many of the homes that I grew up with were fortunate to have many collections and many knickknacks and things. So homes had a lot of things on the walls and in the space, where the newer trends are to be more open, have less things, which is similar to more of the Eastern culture practices. So if they had a scroll or a vase, it was more simplified, and the mind again could be more peaceful to explore and breathe, which I love about that. So, one of the new Japanese organizationalists, I don't know exactly, guru, and she's even on TV, is Marie Kondo. And she helps us to eliminate clutter and surround ourselves with things that we love. And I love her concepts, which obviously um, most likely come from her culture, but it just makes so much sense. So when you're sorting through your things, just like a painting or drawing, you're choosing the things that speak for you or have a message for you and what you want to say about that piece. And if you don't love what it's saying, or if it's not adding to your piece, then you eliminate it. You can thank it like she tells you, if you want to get rid of something, thank you for it. and then pass it on so somebody else can use it. So in a painting or a drawing, we can eliminate that clutter. Okay, so let's talk about what I call 7 principles or even aesthetics that can be applied to your work. So the first one is Kanso. It means to simplify and eliminate clutter, let's say, in your artwork. So some examples might be um, not everything that you see visually needs to be put into your painting or drawing. You can be selective as to what you add or take away from the painting. You can choose. It's artistic license to add, let's say, another tree if it adds to what the artist is trying to say. Another principle is Fukusei. Fukusei, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is to control the balance of the painting by asymmetry or irregularity. So often we think of symmetry as the fireplace with, a painting in the center and 2 candlesticks balancing it with 2 chairs on the side. So generally, a picture that's more asymmetrical, which maybe is balancing um, 2 things and another thing, but the size or the direction changes the balance, seems to be more exciting to the viewer. Imperfection also allows us to relate to the harmonies that naturally balance in nature. So we like things to be kind of off a little bit. We feel a little bit more comfortable if it's a thought out process and still has a natural balance to it, but it's not forced. The next concept is shibu or shibumi, to add beauty to your painting, but not to exaggerate. It's understated, direct, but not flashy. So you want to pay attention to what you're adding. Maybe don't choose every color of paint that you have. Don't accentuate everything by the same size. Change things up a little bit. That shows some movement and dynamics to it. And then what is your focus? Make sure that the viewer naturally comes to where you want them to. Move their eye around your painting or drawing. The fourth concept is Shizen. Prepare it so it can look natural. For instance, if I was painting a floral painting, the stems aren't naturally perfectly straight. There's usually some sort of curve or movement into it. So if you drew straight stems, even though that's what may appear to the eye at first, we need to gently change that so it looks more natural. If we look at natural environment, things are imperfect. Leaves change color. There's holes in leaves. A great suggestion would be just to keep observing your surroundings and your environment. The fifth principle to apply is you can allow the viewer to connect the dots. So you want to suggest things. So we don't usually use outlines, but sometimes we put lines in our paintings, and sometimes we have to put deeper tones around an edge or lighter tones to show an overlap. So often I suggest if you feel so compelled to put a line in your drawing, put a broken line, because the eye will put it together. The viewer's eye will put it together, and it will be suggested that that's an edge. And it's a much softer way of noticing things. And then there's Dasuzoku, the condition of being free from worldly desires, but it's more about a personal journey and what the artist wants to say. So know what speaks to you when you start your painting. What is it that you want to have the viewer notice? What is your artist statement? Why are you painting or drawing this? What are you drawn to? And then there's Saijaku, which is tranquility. Add a natural energy to your painting. That calm we talked about that comes from Eastern paintings, that there's a place for the viewer to go into and explore. You don't want it to be a painting where they go in and it's so busy they don't know what to see and they're ready to move on to the next painting. So I hope this is helpful. I don't see any questions at this time, but feel free to add a question or comment so that I can answer it. This is a time for sharing, and you will be able to also find this on YouTube. So if you like these videos that I'm sharing, please like them and share them with friends or family and post them so I know that you're out there and that you're watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.